Okay, in this video, I am only saying what is the topics of the test, okay? And explaining the principal rules again to the topics, but not an extension, okay? Hola chicos, voy a decirles los temas que vienen en el examen. Voy a explicar algunas reglas, las más esenciales, más no todo el contenido, porque eso ya lo expliqué, ¿verdad? Entonces, pues solo es un repaso, ¿ok? And we're going to start with the page number 89 to the comparative and the superlative form, okay? Here is very important that you remember the principal rules to the comparative and the superlative. Remember the comparative we're going to use to compare one thing with other. Animal, person, or things, okay? One thing with other. And the superlative form is to compare three or more person, animals, or things, okay? And for completing the word, we're gonna use ER in the comparative and EST in the superlative. For example, nice, nicer, nicest. Comparative, nicer, ER. Superlative, EST, nicest, okay? Big, what happened with big? When the adjective is only one syllable, you duplicated the last consonant and you add ER if it's comparative or EST if it's superlative, okay? Big, bigger, and biggest. Okay, and what happened with the Y? If the adjective is ending in Y, you need to check if it's consonant or vowel that is before the last word, that is the Y. Okay, for example, busy. So you look if it's a consonant, you drop the Y and you write it IER. Busier, or in superlative, busiest. But what happened if the Y is preceded by a vowel? You don't change, okay? You don't change, you only put the Y, okay? These rules are very important and ours in these pages, okay? And we're gonna exist other type of comparative, okay? Not only with the ER and EST. Tenemos también otra forma de comparar, no solo usando ER and EST. What happened with the adjective have three or more syllables? We add more if it's comparative and most if it's superlative. ¿Qué va a pasar cuando el adjetivo tiene más de 3 sílabas? Ya no le vamos a agregar ER ni EST, sino le vamos a agregar more a los comparativos y most a los superlatives. Very good. Okay. And the other irregular forms. We exist with irregular forms that we're going to use and study a lot. Good, change to well. Best, change and best. Bad, change to badly, worse, and worse. Okay, recordemos que debemos de estudiar muy bien las formas irregulares. And there exist other forms to type of comparison. Remember the as, the adjective as. Okay, to show that two people or things are similar or a lot of difference in same way. Okay, and in negative form is not as. Okay. Cuando vamos a utilizar el as, adjetivo as, es porque las cosas, animales o personas son muy similares o demasiado diferentes, ¿ok? Para la negación utilizamos not. Less. The adjective with less express the difference between. Cuando usamos less antes del adjetivo es porque hay una diferencia total en la persona, en una persona con otra, en un animal con otro, etc. ¿Ok? The least to the adjective. Compare one person or two things at the same group. The least, el menos. Sí se va a comparar, pero es del mismo grupo. Por ejemplo, si yo voy a comparar a los mamíferos, entonces todos los ejemplos van a ser mamíferos, pero el menos, ¿ok? El menos grande, por ejemplo, entonces at least big, ¿ok? El adjetivo no se cambia, solo se utiliza tal cual es, pero le voy a escribir antes, ¿verdad? At least o the least, ¿ok? También tenemos even, much, lot, far, a little bit, slightly, and comparative that express the degree of difference between two people or things. Estos lo vamos a utilizar para diferenciar el grado que tienen uno con otro, okay? And comparative to show that something is increasing or decreasing. The road is getting busier and busier every day. Podemos repetir el adjetivo, o sea, más y más y más, okay? And this is the part of the comparisons. Okay, and we continue with the page 94 and 95 with the simple present and present continuous. Here we have the information to the simple present that is using for facts and permanent states, general truths and laws of nature, habits and routines, timetables and programs, sporting commentary, reviews and narrations, and feelings and emotions. And the time expressions that is important that we're gonna study to the simple present is all the adverbs of frequency, always, usually, often, sometimes, every day, this week, month, year, etc. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night, the weekend, on Fridays, etc. These are the uses and the phrases that you can use in the simple present, okay? And the uses with the present continuous or progressive for action taking place at around the moment of speaking, for temporary situations, for fixed arrangement in the near future, for currently changing and developed situations, and with adverbs such as always to express anger, irritation at a repeated action, okay? And the time expression that we're going to use with the present continuous are now, at the moment, at present, these days, nowadays, still, today, tonight, etc. Remember, the structure are very different. With the simple present, you use only the pronoun, the verb, and the complement. What happening with he, she, and it? To the verb, you add s. Okay, it's very important that you remember. And in the present continuous or progressive, you use the pronoun, the verb to be, am, is, or are, and the verb with the action is using with ing. Okay, this is very important. Okay, and the stative verbs that we have here, the stative verbs, describe a state rather than an action that is not usually have a continuous tense. The stative verbs is the verbs that don't change in continuous form with ing. Verbs of sense, verbs of perception, verbs which express feeling and emotions. Some other verbs that include, okay? And here we have a square that is looking the different uses, how you can identify when you use in simple present and when you use in present continuous. Remember that here is talking about the stative verbs. Okay, for example, think. I think they will win the championship this year. Is a belief. But when it's considering something with the same verb think, they are thinking of buying a laptop. It is considering. Here in this square is giving to you examples how you can understand when you use normal the verb and when you use with ing. Okay, it's very important that you review this square. Note, the verb enjoy can be used in continuous tense to express a specific preference, okay? General truth, but a specific preference with using ing. And the verb look, when it refers somebody appearance and experience a particular emotion, okay? This is very important that you look the difference. Okay, here, the present perfect. Oh my God, the present perfect you use the auxiliary have with I, you, we, and they, and the auxiliary has with he, she, and it, okay? And the past in past participle, okay? We use the present perfect have, and the past participle is very important that you don't forget it, the verb in past participle, okay? Dot is in past participle, okay? I have, she has. It's very important that you don't change the auxiliary, okay? And the the verbs in past participle. The time expressions that we use in the present perfect is for, since, already, always, just, ever, never, so far, today, etc. Okay, here in the present perfect uses, okay? In the present perfect uses, we use the present perfect to express actions that happen and on a state time in the past. But the emphasis is on the action, the time when it occurred now, okay? An action which start in the past and continue in the present, especially with the stative verbs, okay? A recently completed action, personal experience of changes, an action which has happened within a specific time period which is not over at the moment of the speaking. And what is the difference with the present perfect continuous? Okay, the present perfect continuous we use to have been and the verb with ing. This is very important because you don't use more the past participle, only with the been, okay? And the verb to the action you use with ing. To put emphasis on the duration of an action which start in the past and continue up to the present. For action which start in the past and last for some time. To express anger, irritation, or annoyance, or for repeated action in the past continue to the present, okay? And the specific time expressions we're gonna use in the present perfect continuous are little similar for the present perfect. For, since, how long is very specific, all day, all the morning, all month, lately, recently, okay? Is very important that you remember the grammatical structure, okay? And if you don't understand a lot the difference to the tenses, I need that you ask me, okay? If you don't understand a lot the difference to the tenses, okay? Okay, we continue with the page number 98 and 99 to the past simple. We use the past simple for actions that occur at a definite time, start or implied in the past. For actions that happen immediately one after the other in the past, okay? For habits or states which are now finished, and we can use used to in past to habits or repeated action that doing in the past. The time expressions we use with the past simple are yesterday, then, when, how long ago, last night, week, month, year, Friday, October, etc. Okay? This is very important that you remember that you use the pronoun, the verb in past, okay? And the completed. The pronoun, the verb in past, and the complement, okay? And the difference with the past continue is the structure and the uses. We use the past continuous too for an action which has in progress when another action interrupted. For two or more simultaneous actions in the past, for action which was in progress at a straight time in the past, okay? For describe an atmosphere, setting, etc., and giving background information in a story, okay? What is the difference to the structure? Remember that in the past continuous you use was and were to the verb to be. And the verb to the action is with ing, okay? I was reading a book, for example, okay? Okay, and we're gonna start with the past perfect. Remember that the past perfect is had and the verb in past participle, okay? The uses of this for an action which happened before another past action and before a state time in the past, for an action which finished in the past and whose result was visible in a later point in the past, okay? The time expressions that we're gonna use here is before, after, already, just, for, since, till, until, when, by the time, never, etc. Okay? The past perfect continuous. We use the past perfect continuous to put emphasis on the duration of an action, which start and finish in the past before another action or state time. Okay, difference to the past perfect and past perfect continuous, the structure. Remember, in the past perfect, you use had and the past participle. What happened in the past perfect continuous? In the past perfect continuous, you use had been and the verb with ing. Had been and the verb with ing. Okay? And here we have the time expressions to talk about in the past. Ago, since, for, already, and yet. Okay? And this is the grammatical structure to the past. Okay, and remember the reported speech is the exact meaning of what someone said, but not with the exact words. We don't use the quotation marks, the word that can either be used or omitted after the introductory verb. Say, tell, okay? And here we have the expressions formed with say, told, and ask. Say, hello, good morning, afternoon. Tell the truth, a lie, a story, a secret, a joke, the time, the difference one from another, and ask a question, a favor, price for something after somebody to time, around for something, somebody, etc. Okay? This is very important that you remember all the reported speech explication that I sent to you. And this square is very important to the direct, you look the difference to the direct speech to the reported speech. The simple present, when you change to reported speech, you change to past simple. Okay. Esto es muy importante porque si usted no identifica todavía los tiempos gramaticales que acabo de explicar, que acabo de hacerle recordar, entonces el reported speech va a estar muy complicado. Por eso es importante y por eso fue que hubo un repaso de los tiempos gramaticales anteriores, ¿ok? Direct speech, if the sentences or the story or something we are giving to you in present simple, you change to the past simple. The present continuous, change to past continuous. The present perfect is changed to past perfect. The past simple is changed to past simple, or the better option is the past perfect, okay? The past continuous is changing to past perfect continuous. And the future will you use with the conditional will. This the square is very important that you remember to change the sentences, okay? And here we have the future simple that is very easy for you, only use the will. What is the uses? Decision made at the moment, spot decisions. Predictions about the future based on what we think, believe, or imagine. Promises, threats, warnings, requests, hopes, and offers. Action, event, situations which will definitely happen in the future and which we can't control, okay? And the going to, remember, always you put the verb to be before the expression going to, okay? And what is the uses to the going to? For plans, intentions, or ambitions for the future. Actions we have already decided to do in the near future. And predictions based on what we can see or what we know, especially when there is evidence that something will happen. Okay, what is the time expression that we're gonna use in the future simple and the going to? Tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, tonight, soon, next week, next month, next year, etc. And in a week, in a month, in a year, etc. Okay, this is to the simple future. Okay, with the future continuous, it's a little difference because we're gonna use will, be, and the verb with ing. For actions which will be in progress at a state future time. For actions which will definitely happen in the future as a result of a routine or an arrangement. When we ask politely about someone's plans for the near future, okay? Future continuous will be and the verb with verb to be and the verb with ing. Okay, future perfect. We use the future perfect and the structure is will have and the verb in past participle for action that will have finished before a state time in the future. Okay? And the time expressions we use with the future perfect are before, by then, by the time, until, till is only using in negative sentences. Okay? What is the difference in the future, will, and the verb? Future with going to, the verb to be, and the expression going to. Future progressive will be and the verb with ing. Future perfect will have and the verb in past participle. Okay? Future perfect continuous. We use the future perfect continuous will have been and the verb with ing is more extensive. Okay? Will have been and the verb with ing to emphasize the duration of an action up to a certain time in the future. The future perfect continuous is used with by or for, okay? And the time clauses when talk about the future. You can use while, before, after, okay? By the time, as soon as, etc. I need that you review all these topics, okay? Because this is a very hard test to the grammatical in English, okay? See you. If you have questions, you write me a comment. Bye bye.